How you doing, guys? So the Tweeds of March continue today with some Stirling Sharp Dressed Man, and we're going to be doing a little Good Friday chat while we have a shave with our Rex ambassador. Stick around. Hey guys, like I said, welcome. I'm gwsmallwood, the shaving disciple. So we've got the Stirling Sharp Dressed Man lathered up in my bowl here. Used my Wild West Brushworks custom handle here with the cashmere knot. This is call it my Sparky brush. This is my Arizona State Sun Devils brush that Derek made for me. Love this brush, love this knot. So Stirling Sharp Dressed Man was actually my first love of green Irish tweed scents. It was one of my first really good shaving soaps when I got into this hobby. And I've really loved it ever since. So I actually I'm still working on, I don't know if anybody will recognize this, but this is what Stirling's soaps used to come in. Came in like a 4.5 ounce refill puck in a metal tin like this. So I'm still working on one from probably 4 or 5 years ago. Stirling is always a good performer for me. The soap is very, very dense, very, very slick. It takes a couple of minutes to work into a good lather, which is what I think some people occasionally nitpick on Stirling for, but it's worth it in my opinion. The scent is really, really fantastic. So like I said, it's a green Irish tweed, continuing my March into April for my green Irish tweed scents. And today I wanted to just talk a little bit about myself for a change, and kind of one of the reasons why I called this channel The Shaving Disciple. So it's Good Friday, and that means we are in Holy Week, coming up to Easter, and I chose my channel name as Shaving Disciple because it's kind of a double meaning for me. So I love traditional shaving, and I have somewhat been a disciple of it since I first started it 6 or 7 years ago. But I am also a Jesus disciple. And so I thought the name was fitting. So I prefer the term Jesus disciple to the term Christian, because in the Bible, it was actually on the Passover night, so it would have been last night, would have been the commemoration of it, the anniversary, would have been a Thursday night, that Jesus gave his followers his final command. And that command you can find in the Bible in John 13:34. And that was, "A new command I give to you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this the world will know that you are my disciples." So Jesus defined the word disciple for us right there. That to be a disciple of Jesus, a follower, is to love one another the way that Jesus loves us. And that was a new command because Jesus had previously been asked about how to sum up all the commandments. So the Hebrews had a lot of laws, and so when he was asked how to sum them up, he gave a slightly different answer. Let's go ahead and talk about the razor a little bit. So I'm going to be using the Rex Ambassador. And so this was kind of themed today because as a disciple of Jesus, I also am technically an ambassador for Jesus. And so the Rex Ambassador felt like a good fit. I'm actually going to be using it on number 5. It's an adjustable razor. I've got a second use Persona Red in here. So let's go ahead and get started with the shave. So back to what Jesus was telling his disciples. It was a new command because previously he had told people that the ultimate commands were to love God with all your being and to love your brother or your neighbor as yourself. So to love somebody the way Jesus loved somebody was different than loving people the way you would love yourself. And that's why the final command Jesus gave his followers was a new command. So that's why I prefer the term Jesus disciple, because a disciple is about doing what Jesus did. You can call yourself a Christian, and to be a Christian basically just means to say that you believe in Jesus, whereas to be a disciple, to me, is putting your money where your mouth is, and actually doing it. So that's why I chose Shaving Disciple as my name for my YouTube channel. So like I said, my goal as a disciple of Jesus is to do exactly what he asked, to love others as Jesus loved me, which, if you have read the Bible, whether you believe that Jesus is God or not, he certainly believed that he was giving his own life to save everybody else. That's historical fact, and that is pretty significant love. So my goal as a Christian as a disciple, is that it would be obvious by the way I live my life that I'm a disciple, with a caveat. I want people to recognize that I'm a disciple of Jesus without being weird or awkward or uncomfortable to be around, because that is not what Jesus was. People loved Jesus, all people, pretty much, except for the Pharisees, but all of the common people, the people that Christians today tend to, now I'm generalizing here, but tend to rail at about their sin. These are the people Jesus hung out with. And so that's one of my goals as a disciple, is to not push people away, because Jesus didn't do that. Soap is amazing, as always, by the way. So yeah, that's how I came up with my name, and kind of more about me as a person. Thought Good Friday was kind of a fitting time to talk about it a little bit. I've been very heavily influenced over the past few years by the Bible Project. Tim Mackey and John Collins created the Bible Project, which makes short videos that summarize key themes in the Bible as well as books of the Bible. I highly recommend you watch them. Whether you're a Christian or a believer or an atheist, I think they're well worth watching. Partly because the Bible is often misinterpreted in interesting ways. And Tim Mackey from the Bible Project is a Hebrew and Greek scholar and has some really interesting insights into what the Bible really is, why we can trust it as authentic, and even if you're not a Christian, if you watch those Bible Project videos, you will probably know more about the Bible than 90% of your Christian acquaintances or friends. He's also got a podcast called Exploring My Strange Bible, which is awesome. So I've learned a ton from him over the years, and like I said, even if you're not a Christian, I think those are highly worth watching and checking out. So the Rex Ambassador is doing a great job. I've got it up on 5, and I'm doing some across the grain passes with it. A lot of people find this razor to be really, really aggressive. I'll probably do an actual review video of it at some point, but my impression of this razor is it is quite aggressive in blade feel. It has quite a bit of blade feel, but up at the higher levels particularly, without being harsh. Now I do find that there are some similar razors I have that have the same blade feel but are actually a little bit more efficient. So in the way I use this, I don't find it quite as efficient as you would think, given as aggressive as it feels. But I still really, really enjoy it. It's an all stainless steel adjustable razor. It is pricey at $250, but if you're interested in one, I highly recommend you can find them used on the buy sell trades for cheaper than that. But Matt often does discount codes in his newsletters. So if you sign up for the Razor Emporium newsletters, you can potentially get a discount code that'll help you with the cost of that. It's a great razor. So I don't know if, hopefully you guys are going to have a good Easter weekend, whether you celebrate or not. Hopefully you get some time off of work and time with family. I know we're still not quite up to going to church yet. I've actually got my first vaccine scheduled for tomorrow. So we're moving in that direction, but we're just celebrating at home with family and spending time together and remembering why it is that we celebrate Easter. So another aspect of my Christianity that I'm actually going to do a second pass here. I got a little bit of leftover stubble in my trouble areas. So another thing about me as a disciple, I'm a practical Christian. For me, what that means is I'm not a blind faith kind of guy. Now, there are always some areas of your life where you're going to have to take leaps of faith, and that's true for being a disciple as well. I know giving was one of them for us. It didn't make sense at the time, but we started doing it, and now it does. But I am more of I've seen the evidence. I've done the research myself. And I don't believe the faith that I have is a blind faith. I believe it's supported by evidence. Not only that, but I'm the type of person that believes even if you don't believe at first, Jesus did not ask his first followers to believe in him right away. He asked them to follow him. So if you read the Gospels and the first encounters that Jesus had with Peter and James and John and some of his first disciples, he just said, "Follow me." And so I believe that you can do that even if you don't believe, and that your life will be better for it, because I'm really into doing research on practical applications of biblical wisdom. It's kind of what I started my website on, which has gone a little bit dormant, but just like I said, that's kind of the term I use for myself. I consider myself a practical Christian. I believe that there's wisdom in the Bible, and I believe that most anybody's life will be better for following it, whether you are a believer or not. So those are just some things about me. I thought it'd be interesting to take advantage of this Good Friday to share with you guys. Hopefully you have a little bit more insight into who I am and why I do the things I do and how I carry myself, and hopefully that you guys found that interesting and enjoyed it. Hey guys, so back for post-shave. Finished up with some Sharp Dressed Man aftershave lotion, always good. A little of the PAA Chui beard oil. I checked a couple days ago, and it looked like they did still have a little bit of stock of their March seasonal. So if you're interested, there might still be some of the March stuff out there. And then I actually finished up with a couple of spritz of Armoff's Tres Nuit, which is a green Irish tree cologne. It's not bad. It's good scent. Doesn't have a whole lot of staying power, but it's good scent. Okay, so that was the shave. Really good shave. For those of you that stuck around for the whole thing, thank you. I always appreciate you watching. Hopefully I didn't derail the shaving topics too much today, but so I will include links in the description below on everything I've used today, as well as some of the things I've mentioned and talked about, including if anybody is interested in supporting the channel. If you guys like what I'm doing here and you want to support what I do, then I do have some PayPal and Patreon links below. So thank you guys for watching again. I appreciate it, and have a great Easter weekend.